Black people at this point, it's just time to move in silence. Whatever we do from now on, whatever we do to build our community, from now on, we cannot be putting it on social media. We can't be putting our ideas on social media because the people that's higher up are going to try to have the upper hand on us. But when you don't put your business on social media and we keep it amongst ourselves and we move in silence, it scares a person. They don't know how to deal with someone who moves in silence. That's the problem with us as black people. We talk too goddamn much and we put our stuff out there, and that's why we can't never have nothing, because people have already beat us to the punch. Shut up, be silent, speak among each other from now on.
Black Women's Project 2025 is to rest. We've done all we can. We've done all we can. I said in my last video that community is the answer. That's it. I need you to tap in to the people who love and care about you. I need you guys over the next few months to take inventory of what resources that you have that can be shared amongst you. If you are Christian, this is a very biblical value, right? Acts, they had all things in common. Christianity is actually a very communal, despite what we've seen and heard, Christianity is a very communal religion.
Something is happening around the world. Black people aren't shouting as much anymore. Black people are not protesting as much anymore. Mostly black Americans, they are not doing that. Black Americans are not begging anymore. They are not explaining or explaining themselves, because why? They have stopped seeking for validation. They have. It is happening. Even when you go on the social media, you see those who are creating videos of complaining, explaining, they are not black people. Black people are just reacting, staying silent, not going on the road and everything. And that silence, that calm confidence has become the most terrifying sound to those who build systems on a dependency of black people. You see, for a long time, the white working class defined their identity by comparing themselves to black people. Even when they were struggling, when they could always say, at least I'm not like them. As a white working class, he is really, really struggling. He's going through hell. At the end of the day, you say, at least I'm not like black people. So they used to compare themselves to black people and to seek their validation of how superior they are. And the illusion of superiority was the glue that held their economic frustration together. Now, right now, we no longer see, or black people are no longer reacting. They are just rebuilding. Black Americans are starting businesses at record rates. Africans are taking control of their resources. The diaspora are reconnecting, exchanging knowledge, money, and love. And all this is happening quietly, okay? The white working class doesn't know what to do when their favorite punching bag stops reacting. They don't know. They don't know how to function when black people don't play the part in their drama. They don't know, okay? Now, before I continue to my video, I want you to watch these clips here, and please make you watch this to the end, because I want you to understand what I'm trying to say here. Let's watch this.
Nope, don't do it, black people. Stay the hell home. Stay safe, stay home, stay out of it. This is not our business. We didn't get us here, and we're not going to get us out of it. These white folk got to do the work. And until they do, they are going to destroy this country. That's how much white supremacy matters to these folks. That's how much the delusion, white delusion, not white supremacy, white delusion. That's how much this matters to these folks, that they are willing to throw away their whole goddamn country. They would rather be kings of rubble than to live good and everybody eats. Everybody gets treated well. Everybody gets treated right. So stay home. Don't go out there. No matter how bad it gets, stay the hell home. This is white folk business. Let them deal with it. This is brother against brother, father against child. This is in-house for them.
I think people are still very confused by the rest and relaxation that black people are deciding to take during this, economic time period. Because to them, before the veil was lifted, I think him being in office has made people realize how like broken our country is, but black people have realized for years and centuries how broken this country is already. So for them, they feel like, why aren't you fighting? But for years, they were already fighting, already doing all the work, and they were being gaslit and told that, oh, it's not true, the country's fine, you guys are just victims. And I feel like black Americans learned very, very quickly that you cannot appeal to a racist because they are not human beings. They quite literally are just entities with human skin. So they're surprised and shocked that people are not doing anything, or in their eyes. But the thing is, relaxing and being joyful is also a form of resistance. It is a form of rebellion. Choosing to not engage with narcissist tactics that are literally targeting you because of what you look like is resistance. Like, there is nothing that America hates more than black people saying no and not giving them free labor.
Black Women's Project 2025 is to rest. We've done all we can. We've done all we can. I said in my last video that community is the answer. That's it. I need you to tap in to the people who love and care about you. I need you guys over the next few months to take inventory of what resources that you have that can be shared amongst you. If you are a Christian, this is a very biblical value, right? Acts, they had all things in common. Christianity is actually a very communal, despite what we've seen and heard, Christianity is a very communal religion. And so, Project 2025, Black folks, Black women especially, your job is to rest. Kick up your feet. Take off the cape. We showed up. We showed out. We spoke up. We did what we were supposed to do. It is now time to rest. And I'm saying Black women, but Black men as well. Black men as well. It is your time to rest. Rest is an act of resistance. Rest is a rebellion. It is. And I don't mean rest like be apathetic, because that's not what we need. Some of us do need to organize, but I want you to organize for your community, not to save the country. We're done with that now. We're done with that. We'll vote again in 2026 and do our part in the midterm elections to boost whatever we can. But your Project 2025, no matter what happens with the actual Project 2025, which remains to be seen, your job is to do your best, to love yourself, to dig deep, deep roots in your community, and to see what we can do together. We have officially been outed out of this democracy. It's not for us. We will reap the consequences, but we are resilient. Black people are resilient. There was another creator on here. She made a video, and I think I reposted it. But she said, like, we've been through this. We know what to do. We've been faced with this before. For the minorities who wanted white proximity so bad that you voted against yourselves, I pray and I hope that you learn very quickly and you assimilate very quickly to the resilience, the level of resilience that you will need for you to thrive in this new and upcoming democracy. I will speak more on this as I feel like I'm going to be making videos throughout today. But rest today, especially, I unfortunately plan to see a client today because I was optimistic. So I'm going to do that. But other than that, I was going to get some work done today. I am resting. I'm going to take care of my household. I might clean up a little bit, but I am investing in me. And then I'm going to have some TLC. I have some TLC planned later this evening. And then this weekend, me and my girls have a sleepover planned. That's what I'm doing in response to this. And of course, I'm going to spend some time in prayer and I'm going to journal. I'll make another video soon about like how to cope and how to process. Please stay tuned. I'm already planning to meet with colleagues on how we can support our community during this time. So stay tuned. There will be free resources that I am working on. So,
hey y'all, did y'all know that only a president can inflict martial law, but he needs just cause to do that? But did you also know that only he can take martial law off the table? So that means he can keep martial law on for as long as he see fit. So in 2 years, when we want to vote these spineless ass congressmen out of office and put people in there that'll stand up to them, That's if he lasts 2 years, that he can still say we under martial law. And during martial law, there's no elections going on. You can't do elections during martial law. So he's trying to bait black people to go out there and do violence and protest so he can say, oh, martial law, so it won't be no elections. Then that motherfucker can stay in there forever. In 4 years, he can say, oh, we're still under martial law. That's what he's trying to do. So I'm going to keep putting videos out there and say, black people, stay in the house. The system been doing us wrong for so fucking long, and now the system needs us for violence. It needs our attitude. It needs our violence. It needs us to get angry. So they trying to release people that they know will make us angry. So just stay angry and just stay sitting. Because by doing nothing, we're disrupting this natural flow of America. America is being disrupted. Because without black people doing what we do best, the system is breaking down. And not to mention Trump breaking down the system by his damn self, but it needs us. So we ain't gonna give him what he wants. Release them all. That's all I say. We still ain't gonna do nothing. They'll probably get theirs in the street, but we ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna go out there. We're sitting down and doing nothing because right now we're fucking winning this shit. And we could play the long game. We've been playing this game since America started. We could start this game over again.
Coming from the black community. Literally, America is crumbling to pieces, and you have barely heard a peep from black people. And I actually find it extremely surprising that people actually expect black people to feel sorry or feel some type of sympathy for the downfall of America. After everything that America has put us through, do you really think that we're all in silence sitting back thinking about now we can fix this shit and we can bring things back to the way they were? No and no. We do not want things to go back to the way they were. And you know what's crazy? I think a lot of people mistake this silence that's coming from the black community as a lack of awareness, as if maybe we don't know what's going on. You might see us dancing and having fun and playing around and shit still, and you might think, these niggas just don't take shit seriously. But I'll tell you what, at a certain point, niggas will stop dancing, niggas will stop singing, niggas will stop going along to get along. But we know America far too well.
Black people in America, do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do. They are trying to gaslight you so much. If your silent protest was not working, they would not be trying to actively gaslight you. How are you going to say that you're going to free George Floyd's... I'm not even going to say his name because he's not worthy. You're going to free him. That didn't work. They said they're going to do this. That didn't work. They say they're going to do that. That's not going to work. This segregation, it ain't going to work. They're destroying graves. It's not going to work. Stand firm. The silent protest is working. They need a scapegoat. They need a target. If you go out there and crash out, all that's going to happen is you're going to be the distraction. You're going to be the target. And they will still put the same laws and the same protocols in. They will just use you as a scapegoat of why they're doing it. And then everyone else will blame you for the reason why everything is going so badly. Let the others handle their own business, okay? I've never been so proud of you in my life. Watching from the UK, it's like everyone collectively just said, I'm gonna sip water and mind my business. And honestly, as crazy as it is to watch everything unfold in America, your silent protest is working. Keep going.
Welcome back. In the US right now, white working class or poor white people, they're struggling. They are really struggling. Not because of black people, but because of the same system they defended. Factories are being closed, jobs are being outsourced, communities are collapsing, you know. Yet instead of questioning the powerful elite, they looked downwards. They are blaming immigrants. They are blaming black people. They are blaming diversity. But sometimes you just have to see what is happening and see it clearly, because something has flipped. The same people they looked down upon, Africans, Afro-Caribbeans, brown people, black Americans, are finding peace in unity. Africa right now is standing up to Europe. The Sahel nations, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they said no more to France. They spoke through action, not just speeches. They used actions, That is the same energy black Americans are channeling. That is the same energy they are channeling. No longer crying for fairness, but building independence. And the silence of black people, the silence of black Americans has become a weapon of dignity. Because when you stop arguing with someone who refuses to see your worth, then you take back your power. And I'll talk about something I call economic silence, the money movement, okay? Because the silence isn't just empty, but it is strategic. Black spending power in the US, it's over 1.6 trillion. But what happens when that money starts circulating within black community? What happens? Instead of flowing to corporations that disrespect them, white working class Americans has long relied to consumptions of black people, has long relied to consumption to keep their jobs alive, from entertainment to fast fashion to sports, But black people are learning that they don't have to be consumers. They can be creators too. That's what we are learning. That's what black Americans are learning. That's what Africa is learning. We are not just consumers, but we can be the creators. We can be the production team. We can be productions. We can be the, everything. In Africa, right now, local industries are emerging. From Nigeria tech hubs to Kenyan agribusiness to Ghanaian manufacturing, When Africans build locally, Europe loses control of cheap labor and raw materials. When black Americans buy from black business, white-owned companies start collapsing quietly. You see that? And that is the threat. That is the silence I'm talking about. It's not just about talking. No. It's not dying. It's not participating in the systems that feed on black people. That is the silence. Not talking, not participating, not buying. Silence, total silence. And that is a threat. That is a threat. For a lot of generation, they control black people through emotions, fear, guilt, shame, and hope for acceptance. But now many black people are emotionally disconnected from the white gaze. If I'm lying, tell me in the comment section. A lot of black Americans are disconnected. They no longer need to be liked. They no longer need to be free from they just want to be free with their own limit, not to be free from their validation. They're not asking for permission to be free anymore, okay? And white working class America is confused. Poor white people are confused. They thought they could measure the progress of black people with how much they want to join them, but we don't want their tables anymore. Black people are building their own table. White people, mostly they think everyone wants to be like them. But I think it is time they know the reality. The silence they hear is the sound of self-esteem returning. The quiet they see is the quiet of black people healing. The absence of reaction is the presence of power. And make no mistake, that threatens the entire identity, because if the black person they mocked for 400 years now walks in peace, with power, with self-control, what does that make them? Just look around America today. White working class families are drowning in debt. Healthcare is collapsing. Their children are turning to drugs. Depression is the norm, and hopelessness. But right now, black Americans, though they are still struggling, it's not that they are not struggling, but they are finding spiritual and cultural stability. Black Americans have been through hell, and they know how to survive. They are now entering the darkness that black people has already conquered. So that's not a new thing to black people. The American dream is cracking, but the twist here is that the very people who laughed at black people for centuries are now facing the same oppression, and instead of fighting the system, they are blaming BLK again. What they see, when they see a confident black person, they feel threatened. Not because they have done something, no, but because their silence exposes their empathies, or the silence exposes their emptiness, okay? And there is a spiritual power in silence. When you stop arguing with evil, you let the truth speak for itself. God moves in silence. Growth happens in silence. Healing happens in silence. Black people across the world are entering that divine silence. We are observing and they are strategizing and they are moving in wisdom. And that's what is shaking the white working class. That's what is shaking the poor white people. That's what is shaking the white supremacy. They can't locate us anymore. They can't locate black people emotionally anymore. They can't control what they can't predict. They can't manipulate what they can't hear. The silence is not weakness. This silence is a transition. It is the cocoon before the butterfly. It is the stillness before the revolution. Now, Africa knew silence, or the continent that stopped asking, the silence of stopping asking for IMF, asking for World Bank, going and begging. Right now, we are doing our own actions, because for decades, Africa was loud in begging, begging for aid, begging for loans, begging for validation. But right now, leaders like Ibrahim Traore, leaders like Assimi Goita and Ibrahim Keita are just quiet. Right now they are quiet, but their silence screams independence. When Burkina Faso cut ties with France, they didn't make long speeches. They acted. When Mali kicked out foreign troops, they didn't argue. They restricted. When Niger joined the movement, they didn't shout. They united. So the African silence is not submission. The African silence, it is a strategy. And it is terrifying Europe. Because the first time Africa isn't explaining itself more. The first time Africa is not explaining how they are going to move here to there. For the first time, Africa is just moving. The same energy is flowing through the diaspora. Black Americans, Caribbeans, and Africans are aligning spiritually because we are realizing that talking to power doesn't work, but becoming power works. Have you ever noticed how media keep trying to provoke black people? I don't know if you have noticed, okay? They want outrage, they want reaction because they can't profit from peaceful resistance. So when black people are calm, the system loses its fuel. Drama dies, fear propaganda collapses. That's why they invent stories to pull black people back into emotion slavery. But more of black people are saying no, that we don't have to react to everything. I see on TikTok there, black Americans, black people creating videos saying that we don't have to react on this. Keep home, keep calm, keep quiet. It is not our fight. It is not our fight anymore. Right now they choose peace. And they choose to focus. When you have peace, you focus very well. So the silence of millions of black creators, the silence of millions of black thinkers and builders is now echoing louder than any protest. Okay? And let me talk about the new black economy. Across Africa, investment right now is in intra-Africa trade is rising. Ghana's years of return inspired thousands of black Americans to explore relocation. Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania are opening doors for diaspora investors, But meanwhile, white economies are shrinking. The middle class is collapsing. They are realizing that the system they used to oppress others is now oppressing them, okay? Black people are learning how to play the long game. Real estate, agriculture, digital media, and cultural export. So this quiet shift is massive. It is like tectonic plates moving under the earth. Okay, you don't see it until the earthquake comes. And when it hits, the world will say that where did all black power came from? The answer will be it was growing in silence. When you are reacting, when you are fighting, when you are making noise, Africa or black people were rising. So the silence of black people is not the end of the fight. The silence of black people, it is the transformation of strategy because we have entered the phase where we don't need permission. In America, silence means that we are done arguing about racism. We are building alternatives. In Africa, silence means that we are done negotiating with the colonizer. We are developing our own system. In diaspora, silence means we are done begging for belonging, but we are creating new world identity. And the white working class, the poor working class who depended on black people being loud emotionally or reactive, they are panicking, okay? Because they sense what is coming. A world where black people don't need to shout to lead. For centuries, they defined themselves by contrast, okay? White means not black. But what happens when black people are no longer reacting? Their sense of superiority collapses. And that's why now we see white anxiety rising, conspiracy theories multiplying, and violence increasing. It is not about being loud, but it's about them. It's about them losing control over their identity. So the white working class is scared because the world they understood is ending. And the one where black struggle kept their ego alive. That's why silence is revolutionary. Okay? We have awakening of black or next generation. The Gen Zs, black youth around the world are leading in this in silence. They are not asking for diversity. They are building their own platform. Music, confident, quiet, unstoppable. White working class families are watching their children embrace black culture from hairstyle to music to mindset, and they call it cultural confusion, but it is really evolution. The silence of black people has turned into a magnetic field pulling the world towards truth. Okay? And even great liberation begins in silence. Great liberation starts in silence. Moses isn't Egypt before speaking, or Moses left Egypt before speaking. Jesus prayed in silence before walking over water. Revolution being in quiet preparation. Right now, God is moving through the silence of his chosen people. The black spirit worldwide is aligning from Harlem to Nairobi, Accra, name them. So our silence is sacred. Our focus is holy. And that's why the system is trembling. Okay? So to the white working class, or the white people, this is not about revenge. This is about restoration. The more you fight what's coming, the faster your world collapses. The more you resist equality, the more your children rebel against your belief. To the black community, I say this: stay silent, stay wise, stay building. Our silence is not weakness. It is preparation for a new world order where black strength is not hidden by natural. So black silence is not absence, it's the presence in another dimension, like spiritually, economic, culturally, name them. The normal white people feel threatened because they sense it. The world is rebalancing, the energy is shifting, the descendants of the oppressors are becoming the architects of the future. So brothers and sisters, stay quiet, stay strong, stay united. Until next episode, peace out.